Good morning and welcome to another edition of Creating with ClickDesigns. Today we're going to be talking about the ClickDesigns editor and do a little walkthrough on that. Now, what exactly is ClickDesigns? Well, ClickDesigns is a program for creating all sorts of graphics and mockups for marketers. It's not Photoshop and it's not meant to be Photoshop. I really like the software. I bought it a year ago. I am an affiliate for software, but I've only recently become an affiliate because I'm just the guy that figured out that I needed a program that could do mockups, and ClickDesigns does that for me and does it very well. So we're on the main screen of ClickDesigns here, and when we come here, the best way to go is go to View All, and that will bring up our whole menu here. So what we're going to start off by doing is we're going to start from scratch, create a document. We're going to call it Editor Walkthrough, and then we're going to go to the bottom, click on Continue. It will ask us to choose our canvas size, and we're just going to set the default settings of 800 pixels in width and 600 pixels in height, and that will take us into the editor. Give it a few seconds to load up. Okay, so as you can see in the editor, we have a blank canvas. Now, right now it's transparent. So first thing I'm going to do is go to background and make that white, just so we can see it well. And generally, the best strategy here is to reduce it until you can see the whole canvas on the screen using the size button here. Okay, as far as the editor itself, you can see it's a pretty simple layout. We've got a toolbar at the top, which doesn't have too much, and we'll get to that later because that's more of the things you do at the end of the process. We have our main canvas here to the right, and to the left we have our tools area. Now, right now we're on background settings, and this area is going to display whatever you have chosen in the toolbar on the far left hand side. So let's look at some of these things. First, you have designs, which will be where all your designs that you create are going to be once you've created them, and you can access them again, and it will be put into different categories of things. And so these are all graphics that I've made in ClickDesigns. Next, we have the text, where you can put on your text, alter it, modify it, and got quite a few options there. We have our image section, which is where you have your photos. ClickDesigns comes with a stock photo library, which is quite big, and you can import your own photos. And so what you're seeing here is the uploads, and these are all photos that I have uploaded for various projects. But you also, and we'll get a little deeper into the images later. Of course, we've already looked at our background, which is fairly simple. You can choose a color with this color picker here, or you can use this to choose a color, or you can use your hex codes, RGBs, and all that. And of course, you also have some options like gradient and use an image background. All right, we go to our shapes, and this is just a section that has various shapes here, like basic shapes, curves, things like that. Again, put it in different categories to make it try to easier find something. And you can always use the search bar to put in a search term and look for what you're looking for. All right, next we have our icons. And icons is actually one of my favorite parts of ClickDesigns. And so again, we have them categorized in different areas, or different categories, and quite a few here. And again, you can use the search bar. All right, and then we have our elements, which is kind of self-descriptive. It's elements, different things you can put into your thing. So we have brands, we have category buttons, so forth and so forth. So it's kind of a vast area, and again, you can search by keyword for anything you want. Then we have our illustrations, which is Like the elements, pretty large library of different illustrations in different categories, and we can always use search to find what we're looking for. Now below that are the brand kit and the QR code. And we're not going to really be looking at those today because those are sort of advanced, and we're trying to keep this more general on the basic functionality of the editor in ClickDesigns. So going back to the top here, we're going to choose text, and we're going to create some text. So we're going to do that by clicking on add a new text layer. And by default it will be in black, and you can easily change that. So, and then whatever you want to type, you don't type on the canvas, you type in this little workbox here. Okay, so we're going to just type in, and I'm going to go capitalize that. This is a test. Okay, that's a nice start. So what can we do with that? Well, first of all, not so much here, but we can center it. It's not going to make much difference the way we have it. Actually, to demonstrate how that would work, let's type in, this is a test, create another line, testing. Okay, so now you can see how we can align everything. All right, the other thing we can do is change the color. So let's change that to a nice red color. Okay, make it a little distinct. And as a matter of fact, we're going to take a little detour here and make the background black, so it all stands out pretty nice. All right, let's go back to our text. It's going to take us back to where we were. The other options we have options here like bold, italic, underline, underscore, etc. Here you can make things all uppercase or all lowercase. Let's go ahead and make this bold. The font size we can also change, but the other thing we can do with the font is we have this font selector, and the nice thing about it is if you just move your mouse down, it's going to show you what the font will look like. And so let's go ahead and we're going to choose Archivo Black for this, and there we got it. Now we've got our font. So we'll just scroll up a little bit here, and we're going to make it a little bigger, like that. Okay. So you can also adjust the line height and the letter spacing. So if I wanted to do that for the line height, I could. And the letter spacing as well. And below that is the ability to change the angle. So if we wanted to change the angle, we could just choose this, either manually put in a number, or we could choose one of these numbers here, like that 90 degree, 360, which is basically also 0. Take it back, and we have an opacity slider, and of course we can use that to change the opacity, which we really don't want to do because we want to see that thing bold and bright on the screen. Okay, and below that we have some more advanced options. Now first I'm going to skip over the advanced options for right now. We got another set of tools here where we can bring items forward or backwards, which when you're working with layers, it's very handy. We have center horizontally and center vertically controls. We have duplicate control. Now, okay, so back to where we were here. In duplicate, you can flip horizontally, you can flip vertically. Now I forgot to select it. All right, there we go. Flip vertically, flip horizontally, or vice versa. You can lock the image, you can select everything, and you can fit the screen. And that's kind of our layer type controls. I mean, while you do have layers with ClickDesign, it's not like Photoshop in the sense that you don't have to do mask and all that. And you know, that's really one of the reasons why I like ClickDesigns is I don't want to have to learn how to make a mask and all that. I just want to make a nice mock-up and get it done pretty quick. All right, so here's our advanced text controls. Got our shadow. Now it doesn't show up well here, so let's go back to our background and change that back to white. Okay, now you can see it much better. There's our shadow, which is going to be adjustable in the horizontal offset, the vertical offset, and the blur. Now, if we go here, we have our gradient color. It allows you 2 colors, and of course you can change the gradient angle. All right, then we have what are called the advanced text styles, which will do this curvature on your text, or different ways of manipulating it to make it look a little more interesting. And then we have our stroke, which we can choose stroke and get really crazy, make things really like that. And again, you can choose your stroke color. So if we were to, instead of this red, let's choose a bluish color, or purplish in this case. And then put that in there, it would be, well, it's kind of ugly color combination, truthfully, but I was just doing it on the fly. But yeah, you can get those colors to contrast with each other. Okay, so and that is basically your text controls. And a lot of these controls you're going to have on everything. There are some things on here that are specific to text. Now, if we go down to images, again, we have our uploads, what we created. We got the library where we search, and a search function where we can search everything that's there and use keyword. And we have cutouts also available that come with ClickDesigns. Now that's just, I haven't actually looked at the cutout area very much here. I just not generally what I do, but there's a nice selection there. All right, background we've already discussed. Our shapes, again, if we wanted to do something, we have our different shapes. So let's look at our curves here. We click on that category, we get a whole bunch of curves. And then let's say we wanted to put some curves on here. Let's say we wanted to do, trying to pick out one. All right, let's say we wanted to do this green one here. All right, we're going to click on that. It's going to bring on the screen. All right, and you can use your guide bar or your box outline. Bring it up. You can grab it. Okay, here. And again, I'm not trying to make anything perfect here. I'm just demonstrating what you can do. We can resize it. Now, we can also, on this, as you see, we can change the colors. Now, I'm not going to do that here, but that option is available. Now, the other thing we can do, since we have it selected, is we can go down to our layer controls. We're going to duplicate this and bring it up here, and then we're going to flip it with our flip vertically. All right, so now we have mirror opposites of the same graphic on the top and the bottom. And that's one of the easy things to do with ClickDesigns. All right, now I think I'm just going to, I think we demonstrated the shapes a lot, and there's a lot to explore there. Now, icons are one of my favorite things. And so let's do a search, and we're going to do a search for, I don't know, let's try food. Okay, so there's actually, this is misleading because there are actually 2 sets of icons in here. You have these kind of stock default icons like this that come with ClickDesign. Then you have another area that's specifically an icon area, which is more for your branding, and I'll probably demonstrate that on a different video because it kind of deserves its own video. But anyway, we got our icon here. We can place it, we can change the colors, and so let's go ahead, we'll just choose a blue color here. That's nice. All right, that'd be good enough. Now what we can do here, we're just going to copy this color and put it on the other one. Now if you notice, one element right now is blue and one is black, and that's why I like the icons. Of one of my favorite things, you can play around with the colors and really customize the way you want it to look. And because all this content you get with ClickDesigns is royalty free, that means anything you can use the stock ones royalty free, but you can also, once you alter it, it becomes your own unique work. So that eliminates a lot of problems you have with a lot of these icon sites where you either pay or they're free, but you have to do the Creative Commons annotation, and that's just a pain. I'd rather just do this, just punch it out in ClickDesigns and be done with it. All right, but that's our icons. Then elements. With the elements, of course, we have different things. So there's some 3D images here. And let's see what we got. 3D people. Okay, so let's take a look at brands here, see what we come up with. Okay, I've got some for different brands. Of course, they're not, because of copyright issues, of course. Some of them are close to the product they're trying to do, but they're probably not exact because, of course, there's copyright laws that always play to everything here. But here we have one. It looks like that's close to a LinkedIn icon. I mean, it's close enough that people will know what you're talking about, but I imagine they've made some slight differences so it's unique. All right, so we can put that right on the screen just like that for our elements. And again, if we go back here, we have our, and we choose it, we have our basic controls. Now because this is an image, we're not going to be able to change the color of this the way we were with the icon, although we still do have some options. We can still change the angle. We actually do have an editor built in here too that we can play with. And then we'll do that back button there. So there's a lot you can do there. There, let's go back to that. But it's, as opposed to the icons, you can't really play with color, but you do have these image filters that you can use to alter things. And so, yeah, it can be pretty interesting depending on what you have. And you can get some interesting effects there. You can also get blings like blur, jack up the brightness, add some distortion with noise. But you're going to, as again, ClickDesigns is designed to get things done and get things done fast. Now, if you want to have a vast array of choices where you could manipulate pixels in every possible way known to mankind, then you need Photoshop. But if you don't want to spend the next 5 years of your life learning Photoshop, this is a much easier way of getting things done and getting on to the next thing in your life. All right, and then we have our illustrations. And the illustrations, it's pretty much the same thing. Same thing, we've got our illustrations we can bring in here. So we'll just choose black and white drawing. Gives us a bunch of illustrations. Of course, these typically are going to be a little larger than your icons and a lot of your elements. So we would like to just pick this one right here. It's going to come out that size, but of course we can always resize it using the handles. And that kind of is the overview of what's happening on the left side. Now at this top toolbar, we got a couple of things going on here. For one, we have this undo button. So we going to undo a lot of things here until we get down to kind of just our text and our graphics we put on the top and bottom. Then of course you have your sizing button. Then you can use this button to return it to 100% zoom. You also can zoom more than 100%. We have a grid and a lock for the grid to align things. Now the grid is fairly basic, and hopefully one day one of the things I'd like to see is maybe a little more adjustability on the grid, but it's a grid, so that helps line things up. And then we have our resize, where we can change our size of our canvas. Now this canvas is the default 800 pixels in width, 600 pixels in height. If we were to change the height to also 800, it makes this a square. That's what we're going to get now. As you can see, it's more square now. And if we wanted to move everything, we can, but we'll have to move an element at a time. So it's better to kind of figure out what your size you're doing with is first, but you see how easy that is here. And you can also see there's a little line there, alignment line on our text, lining us up with the center of the item, of the center of the canvas. And so that is really helpful when you're trying to line things up. Okay, so we go up here, we can save. And we also have a duplicate function. And then our other functions are we can exit or we can export. And here we're going to choose the export here. And our export function gives us choice of PNG, JPEG, web page, or PDF, and we can choose the DPI and choose if we want to put a watermark, which is again one of those things I'll probably get to in a different video showing how to do the watermark. But if you want to put your own little branding so people can't copy your stuff without giving you credit, you can put a watermark in. And that's pretty much it. We're going to go ahead and exit. And once we exit, that's going to take us back to the main ClickDesigns screen. So this is just a basic walkthrough of the editor. Now, this is only the second video I've ever done in my life, so I imagine this is a little rough, but it will get better. Imperfect action beats a perfect plan that never gets implemented. Now, as I said, I am affiliate for this product, but I was a user of this product way before I was a affiliate for it. And currently, right now, I am in a certification course for ClickFunnels, and I have used this ClickDesigns product to make all my graphics for that, and it's really been a lifesaver for me. I don't know, I would have been, well, I don't have any here, but if I did have here, I would have pulled it out if I had not had ClickDesigns. So there's going to be a link where you can click on in the description. That will take you to a page where you can learn more about ClickDesigns and see what that wants, if you'd like to investigate it further. I'm also have created a Facebook group, also called Creating with ClickDesigns. I'm going to create a link to do that. So if you're a ClickDesign user, or you're just interested in ClickDesigns and want to find out more about it, you can go ahead and join the Facebook group. And that is going to be pretty much it for today. Our little walkthrough with the editor. And this is going to be part of a series of videos I'm going to be doing on ClickDesign, demonstrating various things and doing some tutorials. This is basically, as I said, just a walkthrough, show how easy the editor is to use. And so with that, have a nice day, and please look into ClickDesign to see if you think it's something that could make your life easier. Bye.